Hi guys and welcome to the Trading Show. This week we are gonna talk about
Markets, steady week. Our portfolio, gold flies. Tip of the week, focus on the DAX future. And the weekly rollovers.
and if you are interested in systematic trading, then subscribe to our channel. I am Francesco Placci, Head of R&D at Ungar Academy. Let's start from the market overview to see together what happened during the week. Well, let's see together what happened in the week that was quite steady. The markets did not move much. In general, it was rather mixed, as we can see from the returns of the stock indices. We see, for example, the Nasdaq, which is positive. The mini S&P is slightly positive, but European stock exchanges instead show negative returns. Also bonds, slightly positive returns, but you can see there were no big movements during the week, except for the Bund future. Mixed week also for the energy sector. Natural gas is positive, negative is gasoline, heating oil and crude oil is slightly negative. There were no significant movements in the last 5 days, except for the Linux future, which is still trending up from month. It shows a very linear trend actually. Currencies are more or less unchanged. Cereals are primarily positive. They have been in a positive trend for some months, as we can see from the charts. They are all in uptrend, but as you can see, in the current week there were no significant movements. Volatility as usual remains high on an annual basis, while on a monthly basis it is a bit lower, except obviously for cereals because of their uptrend. As for the implied volatility of equity indices, even here compared to the last week, not much has changed. Volatility is more or less at the same level, and the term structure of the volatility index on XPX is in contango. And then, if we take a look at the term structure of VIX future, we see even in this case a situation very similar to that of the previous week. We have this usual hump, which obviously refers to the uncertainty due to the American elections. The term structure is mainly in backwardation, although I must say that a bit of volatility seems to have been reabsorbed. However, the level of implied volatility remains high. In fact, the VIX index is currently at 26, while all futures are above this value. After seeing some key statistics on financial markets, and given the fact that automated traders also use this data to build their trading strategies, as usual, we will now take a look at our portfolio of trading strategies to see how systems have reacted to current market conditions.
Good morning everyone and welcome to this new appointment with the analysis of our portfolio. I am Alessandro Danos and today I want to talk you about the gold futures market. And in particular, I want to show you this system that was developed on a 5 minutes time frame. It is a trend following strategy that enters at highs or lows of the previous session. Let's say around these levels, because there are also some patterns that could affect the calculation. From the report, we can see that the equity, here we have data charged from 2019 about, and we can see that in the first part, so in the 2019, the equity was, let's say, was good but flat. And then in 2020, with the return of the volatility on this market, this strategy that enters on these volatility breakouts managed to perform better and managed also to take some better profits, while in 2019 it was really difficult because the volatility was quite low. I also want to emphasize that this strategy has a very short stop loss. It is 7.5 points, so it is worth $750. And we can see that this short stop loss allows the strategy to have just 5,000, around 4-5,000 max historical drawdown, which, if compared with the excursion of the instrument, of the daily excursion of this particular future, where we can see that we can see a range from the high to low of around $4,000-$5,000 in just one day, so it is a very good value. We can see also from the annual period analysis that, as said, the 2019 was like a flat year, while the 2020 was a very good year with a profit of around $23,000. Now let's move to the next system, which is always developed on the gold market, this time on 15 minutes. And this time the strategy is a reversal one. It may sound like strange or anomalous, a reversal strategy on the gold futures, where we know the main characteristic of this underlying is the trend following one. But in the recent years, from 2016, let's say, it seems that the gold, excluding of course the year 2020, has changed his nature. We can see here from the annual period analysis that 2019, as said, was a flat year, while 2020 managed to reach good profits. From the equity curve analysis, we can see here we have the data from 2017, and the strategy is out of sample from 2018. In 2019, the strategy was flat, with a drawdown of $15,000, and now with this beautiful series of trades, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, and now is in a long position, managed to reach new equity hikes, confirming the reversal nature of the gold futures in the last years. Now let's move to the Titan. You know, there is our software that we use to filter our systems, and today in particular we will focus on the metal sector. We have set a starting capital of $50,000 with a daily risk of 2%. The starting date is 1st of January 2020, until today finishing date 16 October 2020. This sector is composed by the gold future, the silver, the platinum, palladium and the copper. We can see from the equity curve that 2020 was a good year until today on this particular sector, but we can see also that the profits were obtained basically in the first part of the year in 2 months, between February and March, and then from April until today we see flat equity. All in all, we can see that the total profits are very good, $32,000 on a starting capital of $50,000, with a maximum historical drawdown of 7,500, which is around 15% of our starting capital.
Hello everyone, and welcome from Andrea Nebbiolo. Today we will talk about the DAX futures. So first of all, DAX futures are some futures listed in the Eurex exchange. There is an exchange based in Frankfurt, and the DAX futures in particular are some futures that are created on the DAX index, and the DAX index is an index created on the blue chips belonging to the Deutsche Börse, and in particular the DAX future is built on the top 30 capitalized stocks of the Deutsche Börse. First of all, the DAX future has a very big contract value. In fact, we can see a multiplier for each point of the index that is equal to 25 euros. So in general, the DAX future is recommended only to very capitalized and experienced traders because of its really huge monetary volatility. So an unexperienced trader may face very huge losses because of the very huge contract value of this product. But fortunately, since some years has been created a mini version of the DAX future, and we can see here the mini DAX future has a contract value of 5 euros per point instead of 25, so the mini DAX futures has a value of 1/5 if compared to the entire whole contract of the DAX future. And for what regards the minimum price fluctuation, the mini DAX future has 1 whole point as a minimum price fluctuation, so the 1 tick is equivalent to 1 point, while the DAX future at the moment has 0.5 as a tick value if compared to the price to the whole point. But we can see here from the Eurex Circular 57 of 2020 that starting from 21st of December, the tick size for the entire, so for the whole contract of the DAX future will change from 0.5 to 1 point. So the tick size will be exactly the same as the mini DAX future, so 1 point. But of course, the tick size on the DAX future will be 25 euros, while on the mini DAX will be 5 euros. For what regards the sessions, until some years ago, we had the session from 8 a.m. up to 10 p.m., while recently has changed to from 1 and 10 a.m., so 10 past 1 a.m. up to 10 p.m. And there are 4 contracts traded every year, and the expirations are March, June, September, and December, and the final settlement day is the same as the last trading day, and it's the third Friday of each maturity month. So the third Friday of March, the third Friday of June, the third Friday of September, and the third Friday of December. If we give a look to the average volumes of those products are really good. In fact, the main contract, so the big contract, the DAX future, usually has average volume of 100,000 contracts per day. That is pretty consistent all over the most recent period. And here I did just a moving average on the volumes on the last 200 days. While on the mini version we can find an average volume of 70,000 contracts per day. That is a very good value. But in general, both of these products are traded mostly after 8 a.m. So when the previous session started. From a systematic trader, from the point of view of a systematic trader, the DAX futures are in general really nice because their incredibly high monetary volatility is able to let the trader to create very powerful trading strategies, and in general it's not so hard to find the strategies that covers pretty fine the impact of the slippage and commission, because it's quite easy, I would say, to find very good average trade on the DAX in general. This is of course because, as I said, this underlying has an extremely high monetary volatility, and so it's pretty easy to find this kind of very good combination of liquidity and volatility. And in general, this product is also good for systematic trading approach because it's possible to find very different trading systems. So both bias intradays are fine, bias multi-days, so intra-month, seasonals and intra-week bias are working pretty fine, but also trend following both on a multi-day basis and intraday basis are extremely good in general, as well as mean reverting strategies are really good both on intraday basis and on multi-day basis.
Well, let's take a look at next week's rollovers. On October 20th we have the settlement of the crude oil future, but personally I'm already trading on December expiration due to the greater liquidity that is already on December. Finally, we will have to roll over the VIX future, whose settlement date is 21st October. I remind you to check all energy futures because the following week there will be the settlement date of natural gas, gasoline and heating oil. Well guys, so if you want to learn how to build trading systems like Andrea Unger, the only 4-time trading world champion with real money, go ahead and click on the link below. You will be able to pick a date and a time for a 45-minute call totally free with one of our tutors. We will talk about your current situation, what you are doing in trading and what you would like to do instead. And we will try to understand together if we can help you achieve your trading goals. Finally, if you like this video, press like and then subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching. See you next week with another episode of The Trading Show.